Have you felt it, that tightening in your chest when the silence suddenly gets too loud? When the people you thought would always be there slowly fade into ghosts, and you realize this road you'll have to walk far more alone than you ever expected. Let it hurt. Let it break something inside you, but not your hope, not your faith. Let it break the illusion that anyone owes you anything. Because the moment you fully understand that no one is coming to save you is the moment you become unstoppable. Walk like you need no one, because most of the time you won't have anyone. And that's not a tragedy, that's power. When Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself during the darkest hours of command, surrounded by war and death, he didn't write, "I hope they help me." He didn't cry out for comfort. He didn't complain about the burden. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. No applause, no audience, just responsibility." That's the mindset of someone who walks like they don't need anyone. They don't beg for attention. They don't collapse when ignored because they weren't doing it for validation. They do it because it's who they are. But most people, they build their identity out of fragile things, likes, compliments, temporary friendships. They mold themselves to fit others' expectations like clay on a potter's wheel, spinning endlessly for someone else. So when someone leaves, they shatter. But you won't. Not anymore. You were not born to be a background character in someone else's story. You were born to walk through fire, not for revenge, not for recognition, but because fire makes iron stronger. And you are becoming iron. You don't need to explain yourself. Your discipline is your answer. Your silence is your reply. Your resilience is your revenge. Because real power, it's quiet. It doesn't brag. It doesn't scream for approval. It moves like a storm beneath the surface, waiting. And when it rises, it changes everything without asking permission. But here's the truth that will burn if you're not ready. You will be misunderstood. You will be left out. You will be abandoned. People will doubt you, question you, resent you. Why? Because nothing threatens the weak like someone who doesn't flinch. You walk in silence, they scream for attention. You endure in solitude, they collapse without company. You build in the dark, they decorate in the light. And now, it's time to walk your path, not to be seen, but because it's who you've become. You've already started walking alone, not out of loneliness, but out of strength. Now it's time to stop needing to be understood and keep going forward. Your existence when you walk silently, unshakable, will feel like an insult to those who refuse to become what you're becoming. So let them talk. Let them leave. Let them look at you like you're crazy. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You have to let go of needing people to get you, because the moment you live for their approval, you've already become a slave to their opinions. The moment you chase validation, you surrender your strength. Take it back, all of it. Every ounce of energy you wasted waiting for replies. Every second spent verbalizing their words. Every moment you hoped they'd come back and say, I was wrong. Forget it. You don't need closure. You don't need their confession. You don't need a witness. You need to move. You need to rise. You need to walk like you don't need anyone. Because the truth is, you don't Pain taught you. Loneliness shaped you. Discipline saved you. And now you walk with a spine made of boundaries and a heart that no longer begs. But let me be real with you. Walking alone isn't romantic. It's brutal. It means waking up without a good morning text. It means going to bed with your thoughts echoing in your chest. Some nights, the silence will scream louder than any voice. But it also means you're free from manipulation, free from chasing ghosts, free from watering dead plants, because you've realized you don't need anyone to tell you you're enough. You are not because you're perfect, but because you're disciplined. Not because you're loved, but because you love yourself enough to keep going. Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And what wastes more time than chasing what left, trying to fix what broke itself, or waiting on those who chose not to show up? Stop. Reclaim every second. Reclaim your mind. Reclaim your power. There is nothing more dangerous than a man or woman who has mastered the art of walking away, not out of pride, not out of spite, but out of clarity. They see clearly now who gives energy and who drains it, who supports growth and who fears it, who speaks of love but acts with indifference, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. You stop explaining, you stop fixing, you stop hoping, you start becoming. And every step you take alone, that's not isolation, that's evolution. Every silent morning run, every cold shower, every page you turn when no one's watching, that's your soul breaking free from dependency. That's your body remembering how to trust you again. You've just learned to stand tall on your own, not because you have no one, but because real power begins when you no longer need anyone to validate your worth. Truthfully, what kind of strength only shows up when you're loved? What kind of mindset crumbles at the sound of rejection? And what kind of man needs permission to be powerful? Real strength doesn't react, it prepares. You don't wait for the storm to pass. You train in the rain. You sharpen your mind like a blade. You clean your habits like a temple. You hold yourself accountable like a soldier, not for anyone else but for yourself. Because you've realized no one can give you peace. No one can hand you discipline. No one can deliver self-respect. These are inner wars, and you fight them alone. So walk like you don't need anyone, but walk with purpose. Every step declares, I'm not waiting for your approval. I've already chosen myself. Because what I have now is peace. Not the kind that comes from comfort, but the kind that comes from control. Control over my emotions. Control over my reactions. Control over my direction. I don't wait for the path. I become it. That's Stoicism, not pretending, not to care, but caring deeply about what truly matters. You don't need praise. You need principles, not a cheerleader. A standard, not their permission. Your own discipline. And once that clicks, the silence stops hurting. Solitude becomes power. You become calming chaos. Steady when others fall apart, because you've walked through fire and emerged forged like iron. You walk not to impress, but because this is who you are now. Let them say you've changed. You have. You've stopped needing. You've started knowing. Because Stoicism doesn't teach you to chase. It teaches you to lead, to build, to become. So walk like you don't need anyone. Because if you fall, you rise. If they doubt, you continue. And when they look back, they'll see the truth. They didn't break you. They built you. So thank them. Then forget them and walk like you never needed anyone, because you never did.